Hi, everyone. I'm Jackson Vaughan. I'm managing partner at Konvoy. Today, we're excited to introduce one of our newest additions to our portfolio, Diversion. It's an intuitive version control system built on a modern tech stack for speed, scalability, and efficiency. I'm joined by Sasha, the founder and CEO of Diversion, to talk about where this idea came from, where it is today, where they're going in the future, and how they're transforming the ways that creative teams collaborate together. Sasha, welcome.
Hi, Jackson. Thanks for inviting me, and thanks for joining us on this journey.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to be part of it for sure. Let's start with the beginning here. What's your personal journey? Walk me through that. What led to the founding of Diversion?
Right. So I've been a software developer for a long time, since before Git was popular. So I had the chance to use all the systems like CVS and SVN, ClearCase, Visual Source Safe, just to name a few. My first startup we used the SVN, and second we used Mercurial before Git. So I had a chance to sort of learn all about these systems and have a perspective. Um, in between, I also had a chance to develop a couple of games with some friends using Git, and it was a terrible experience, I have to say. So when me and Eagle were thinking about like what to work on next, version control was just right out there as something that really needs improvement.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, like Git was created 20 years ago, and that's the newest thing in version control, right? And so many things have changed since then. Back then we had like half a megabit network connection, if we are lucky, and slow hard disk, slow service. Um, and cloud didn't even exist yet, right? And all the tools, all the software tools that we are using today, stuff like the Google Docs and Figma and Notion, is just cloud based, right? So
Mhm.
we are thinking, why not build a cloud native version control system?
Mhm.
That's how it
Yeah,
started.
that's awesome. Yeah, version control isn't necessarily, one of the most exciting topics that, people think of, but it's absolutely critical, right? We know that across all of software development. When you were thinking about this, can you walk me through what were some of those specific pain points you saw in previous work that convinced you that there really is a gap worth solving here?
Yeah, so we started with like real time collaboration and stuff like that, and but when we started talking with developers and users, we quickly realized that in like basically in game development and entertainment industries, the pain points were really acute. Like there were real issues with basically like large files and large projects. Right, so Git doesn't work with binary files and large projects, so they can't use Git. And most of the industry uses Perforce, and that's a tool from the 90s, right?
Hmm.
It's so hard to use, so hard to manage. You need to manage your own hardware, your own servers to like install this thing and maintain it. And it's so error prone, and the projects have become so large, like compared to 1995 when it was built, right? So the architecture doesn't hold anymore, right? It
Right.
just doesn't work. Um, so we decided to focus on that and bring in modern tooling for these industries. Right? And it's as someone who developed games myself, building games is hard as it is. You should at least have good tools that just to keep your hard work together and help you collaborate.
Yeah, I mean, game developers have so many things to worry about.
Yeah.
It's tough that they've also got to worry about version control and sort of existing systems in the market aren't performant for them, right? Don't work. Help me understand, when it comes to handling these large files, 3D assets, how is Diversion handling it different than the existing players?
Yeah, right. So to geek out on version control just a bit. So there are two main kinds of version control systems. There is the distributed kind, that is Git and Mercurial, and there is the centralized, SVN, ClearCase, Perforce, and others. And Diversion is a new kind of version control. It's a cloud native version control system. So it is centralized in the meaning that we have a single source of truth, but we are using distributed storage system, distributed modern databases, and distributed compute core.
Hmm.
So it is helping you to collaborate by having a single system that everybody is talking with. But at the same time, it is super scalable. It is
Hmm.
crazy scalable, right? So you can put any size of files and projects into it. Doesn't matter, throw anything there, and we've ran it with thousands of concurrent users, and it doesn't even blink, right? So and on top of that, we have a modern web-based interface that's super intuitive, super easy to use and learn. You can't really shoot yourself in the foot. And yeah, it looks like something that you would expect to use nowadays.
Yeah. And it sounds like you're taking the sort of best of both worlds, of distributed and the centralized, and sort of merging those together. No pun intended. But creating a real solution that's like really attractive for developers today.
Yeah, exactly. And also we kind of like take the modern approach from like Git branching system that you can create as many branches as you want. It doesn't cost you anything, and that helps with collaboration. That helps
Hmm.
isolating your work from others, and not being worried about committing something that breaks other like breaks the build. So yeah, we basically implemented all this learning with all the systems that existed, and built a new thing, best of both worlds on
Hmm.
modern cloud-based architecture.
Yeah, it's awesome and it's super exciting. One thing we've talked about in the past is sort of the amount of time spent for creative teams on just managing the version control system, dealing with it, interacting with it on a day-to-day basis, and the various issues that come along with that. What kind of feedback have you received from early users of Diversion? And what have you heard there?
Yeah. Oh my God. We heard things that, like, for me, the favorite thing is that artists now create branches and merge them. And I was like, what people didn't like. They would never even like think about branches before that because it was like so difficult and arcane for them. But
Hmm.
it's so easy now. So they do it. I heard from studios that they onboarded entire teams in under an hour because they didn't need any training because they just started working with it. And yeah, and everything kind of like becomes faster for them.
Hmm.
They don't really need to think about version control; it just works for them. Yeah. And automatic conflict prevention that we have really saved them a lot of time. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and basically, yeah, they like the tool. That's
Yeah. No, it's amazing. And it's incredible to think that, sort of we've lived and operated as an industry where artists, were not brought into the fold in terms of managing the product's version over time. And sort of, huge disconnect there, right? They're obviously integral and incredibly important for production of games. How are they not integrated into the actual version
yeah,
control
they
of
are the
everything?
main user. They are the main user. Like there's way more artists than developers in
Right.
general.
Right. Well, tell me what's next for Diversion. What are the features or milestones that are on the horizon that you're especially excited about?
Right. So we are working on some features for the bigger studios that we're talking with. So basically large scale collaborations, so, stuff like code review and assets review. And modern CI. So we are integrating with Horde
Hmm.
for Unreal Engine and UJS, and there are some exciting AI features that are coming in. So we're not replacing artists or developers or anything like that, but we are helping them kind of collaborate more efficiently
Cool.
with AI, with automatic merges and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that. It's coming soon.
Yeah, super exciting. Well, Sasha, look, we're incredibly excited to be in your corner. We're incredibly excited for what you're going after and what you're building here. And I think the real difference that you and the team are going to make for a lot of game developers, artists, the entire industry. And we couldn't be happier to be in your corner. And thank you for sharing your story so far, and what Diversion is and where you're headed in the future. Incredibly exciting.
Thank you, Jackson, and really, I'm so happy to be working with Konvoy and with you. So it's gonna be interesting.